Anyway, now, with the cost of living getting ever more expensive, how can you save money on pampering your beloved pet?
Dr. Scott is here alongside TikTok dog groomer Caroline Donahue to explain more. Morning.
Hello. Morning to both of you.
And the Scullylicious.
Scully's here, everyone.
Scully!
And I've got to say, she looks very groomed to me.
Well, do you know what? I was looking at her going, I think she's been slightly neglected, Mrs. Miller. I'm talking about you. So she's got slightly long nails and ears, so I'm really glad Caroline's here.
Scott, you've literally been away for 2 months in Australia, and before that, you were away for 8 days in Costa Rica. I don't think now's the right time to be telling your wife.
Actually, by the way, honey, you look absolutely beautiful today. And I'm doing the washing up as soon as I get home.
Loving the tan, by the way. You look gorgeous.
Oh, thanks,
you look lovely.
Thanks.
So why is it so important to groom the dog?
Grooming is very natural behaviour. Mutual grooming occurs in high primates like chimpanzees all the time. And it's a great way for them to pick up on insects, pick up on little foreign bodies like grass seeds. But also from a dog's perspective, it's really important from health point of view. And certainly vets work really closely with groomers. They're kind of, our cousins in the veterinary world to be able to pick up on things that are affecting their skin. So lumps and bumps or cuts or bruises, all those things can be picked up very simply when you're at home. Just grooming your dog every single day. It's just such an important part of keeping them healthy.
And there's a bond there as well, isn't there? Like, I know with my cats, like, when we groom them, for the most part, when they want to be groomed, they're kind of like...
It's on their terms with
yeah, they're kind of, you do feel like you've got a bond there.
Oh, totally. But then I think that bond needs to be earned. We were discussing about how important it is for grooming to start very early as puppies.
Yeah, literally. As soon as the second vaccinations have been done, you can get your dog into the groomers, like professional groomers. You should be doing it at home anyway, handling, which we're going to talk about. But the first appointments can happen from as young as kind of 11, 12 weeks. So get them used to it and make it part of their life.
Right, so they're not in fear.
Yeah, exactly.
So have you ever had a dog come to you, Caroline, and then they literally don't want to be groomed at all?
Many.
And is that purely because the owner doesn't groom them or they're just not used to it?
It can get different causes. It can be negative experiences. They might have had been matted previously, so their knowledge of going to the groomers is that it's kind of tuggy and pulling, and they're there for hours. So it can be different things, or it could just be non-exposure. They've never experienced it, and then they rock up when they're 1 year old, and they're like, "What are you doing? What are those clippers?" So it's kind of bad experience, or just something that they're really unaware of.
And the same applies to us as well, because for groomers doing that work as vets, when we see your dog and they won't let us look in their mouth or look in their ears, that makes our job harder. So actually, that's where us working together synergistically really helps the animals.
So there's a fine line there, isn't there? Because it's just a very specialised, highly specialised job that you do, and yet you want people at home to kind of do it. But I guess there are certain things they can do at home and certain things they can't do at home.
Yes.
So where do we start? Like the key ways to help you manage your dog's grooming.
Yeah, it's thinking at home more so is maintenance. It's just keeping on top of the coat and keeping everything healthy and mat-free between your trips to a professional groomer. It's not going to be instead of, your regular grooming appointments for cockapoos, etc. It might be every 6 weeks, but it's doing the bits you need to do between then to then avoid when they do go to the groomers for it to be a negative experience or for it to be more costly, because then you're then going to have matting fees and things like that.
Right, OK.
And grooming as well is... I think a lot of people just confuse it's like a hairstyle, but actually it's so much more than that. So from a vet's perspective, we're going from nose to tail, so looking in the eyes, in the mouth, in the ears, and also things like nail clipping as well. That's really important. And then going through the coat and feeling any lumps and bumps and foreign bodies. We're moving into a season now where we get grass seeds, which are nasty, sort of arrow-shaped awns, ticks as well, exactly, and fleas. So it's not just about the coat, but I must say as well, from a veterinary perspective, we tend to be not that great at grooming, and I would say they come to us when they go like, "This is the last chance saloon," and we just get out the clippers going. Shear them like a sheep.
Yeah, I've seen some of those.
Yes, I bet you have. I bet you were smiling at the time.
You got some techniques for us now, haven't you?
Yes.
So talk us through what you got.
Yes. So I was just going to cover kind of how to brush the coat. That's quite key.
Right.
The biggest thing that happens, one of the biggest challenges for both owners and groomers is owners keeping on top of the coat at home. Dogs, they want them looking nice and lovely and long and fluffy. Absolutely brilliant. We can do that. but it needs to be achievable. You need to get to a balance of the coat length that you like, but that is also manageable. So I really advocate, like we kind of work together, that owners work with their groomers and rather than against. So I was just
go on,
show you how
show us some techniques.
My
We know
little
you're on
model.
TikTok as well. I tried to find you yesterday. I couldn't find her anywhere. I was looking for you, just your name. Couldn't find you.
No. So on TikTok, I'm the Lovemud dog lady.
All right, I'm all over it now. So what are you going to do?
Okay, so for this little floofy here, hello Scully, you need a slicker brush and a comb. Okay, so any dog that is going to get tangly or matted, cockapoos, cavapoos, Bijons, you need slicker brushes and then a comb. Okay, and it's the technique that you use as well. It's fabulous if you're coming in and trying to brush your dog and just going like that on top, but it's not going to do what you need it to do because knots and mats can form.
What should you do?
Closer. Yeah, and everyone thinks, well, I'm doing it right because I'm doing it like that. But actually, you need to lift the coat. Which camera am I?
Just do it. We'll find you. Just do what you've got to do.
So lift the coat and then brush out from the root with your slicker brush.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is called the line brushing technique. And I'm also moving this hand along as I go. And you need to do this all over. Like, you can't just go, oh, I've done the body, it's fine. You know, the dog's got fur on its legs, on its head, ears, every area. So, yeah, hold the coat back, brush through, and then double check it with your comb. It's not mat-free or tangle-free unless you can get a comb through it.
Yeah.
And if you can't get your comb through it at home, please don't expect the groomer
Do you do
to
the same? I sort of try and do the same with my cat when I want to try and get the knots out of
Yeah,
one of my
similar thing.
cats is long haired.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because otherwise they are not happy.
Yeah, and they can mat up really quickly, can't they? So, yeah.
Well, now we're just talking about diversionary tactics. So we use these in the vet. So when I'm vaccinating a puppy, I'll always give them a little treat at the same time. So they go, oh, there's something positive, and then I just get it done.
Cool.
And the same applies in Caroline's line of work.
Yeah, absolutely crucial to pair what you're doing with something positive. So here I've got a licky mat with peanut butter.
A licky mat?
Scully used to have an
So you
good
put something
day.
yummy and delicious on there, dog-safe peanut butter, cream cheese, put something in a Kong, and then it allows you to do what you need to do. So if they're a little bit worried about, you know, maybe having their rear end brushed or something like that, it just gives them something else to focus on. And also you'll see that we're doing it elevated, so it makes things easier from a handling perspective, and it's also consistent with what's happening at the vets and at the groomers. And then really crucial, nails.
Oh, so they're thinking, hang on, I'm used to this.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
like-
Yeah.
And if you can
They've done
start
it
it from
before.
puppy, it's brilliant because it builds their confidence of being elevated as well.
Yeah.
Such a good idea.
Those Kongs are good, aren't they? Do they
Yes.
have to get the treats out?
Yeah,
of them?
you
Is
can
that
put
the way it
different.
works?
Sometimes you can put treats in that they have to kind of manage to retrieve, as it were, or you can put, again, cream cheese, peanuts, dog-safe peanut butter, things like that in there. Really good as well for distracting with nails. Dogs often don't like their nails being done.
Okay, so
That's
people,
so
should
hard.
people clip their own dog's nails? Because it looks a very difficult thing.
I would say if you don't know what you're doing, then go to your vet or
Because
your
don't
groomer.
you have to?
Risk
You
it.
can't go too low, can
No,
you?
there's a blood vessel that runs through.
There is also
So-
a nerve as well. So
so-
as long as the blood vessel goes, the nerve goes. So that's where it'll be painful.
So what should you be looking for?
You normally, if they're black nails, you can't see through, so you'll need to go to your vet to get some advice. Normally, they're sort of fatter at one end and then thinner at the other. I kind of relate it to being like the end of a banana. So inside the banana, you don't want to cut the banana, but you can cut off the banana skin in the end. You do have to be quite careful because it's painful and they can bleed. So it's always good getting some advice from a professional first.
Would you rather, realistically, people went to a groomer for that, though?
I think so.
Versus a vet. Yeah,
Exactly.
I think so. And I think, but one of the things that people always say is, how do I know when they need doing? So if your dog's on all fours on a flat surface, so on a table like this or kitchen floor, if they're in contact with the ground, should we check your dogs?
Yeah, sure, go for it. I think they're long.
So, if you put something underneath, like something like this or a credit card, if you can't get that underneath, if
They're
there's
too
no
long.
gap between the nail and the surface, then they can be too long and be uncomfortable.
What about eyes and ears?
Well, eyes, very much, it's important to see if there's any discharge there, anything that's brown or white is normally okay, green or yellow is a problem, and then looking in the ears itself and then actually plucking out some of the hair that's in there to allow good airflow. But one thing I would really point out from a grooming perspective is shampoo. Just always make sure that you're using a dog-friendly shampoo because actually they have a much more alkaline skin than we do. We have much more acidic, so don't use human shampoos, use dog ones.
Brilliant.
And just to dilute it makes it so much easier to apply, whether that be in a bottle or in a jug.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Good idea.
so much
Yeah.
easier, and you'll use a lot less product.